Formula One arrives in Hungary now, where the questions will be asked about where the former Fernando Alonso and Williams have gone. It seems that their form since the new tyre rules were introduced in Britain at round 5, that they have struggled for pace. Williams after questions from the media, Williams released a statement that said that they were preparing themselves for life in Formula E and subsequently did not have time to rectify their problems in Formula 1. Subsequently, Harmson and Carlsberg SAS seem to be on fire in terms of their form, as Alonso now only has seen his lead cut all the way down to just 1 point to the Brit. And it's not just Alonso who is in good form, Harmson who's in good form. Vettel has also won the last 2 races at Austria and Germany, and his Red Bull team seemed to have good pace as well during the early part of pre-practice. With the track that matches their car, they are the favourites for victory. But let's take a look at the grid, and Fernando Alonso surprised everybody by putting his car fastest of all. He is joined by his old and current nemesis Sebastian Vettel alongside. Daniel Ricciardo, great job for him, he starts 3rd. Sergio Perez a bit disappointed with 4th place, although will be looking to improve up the grid. Max Verstappen, good job in qualifying for him, he starts P5. Pierre Gasly alongside Renault going well in Hungary, 2 Renaults in the top 6. Peter Harmson starts in 7th place, looking to move forwards. Charles Leclerc, another disappointment for him, down in 8th place as he not comfortable with the car. Hamilton gets in the top 10 again, although none likely to stay there. And he's joined also a good result for Kimi Raikkonen, who starts in 10th place. Outside the top 10 for his choice of tyres, Carlos Sainz, disappointed to be down his teamer. Valtteri Bottas for once isn't in the top 10. So his choice, he might be able to improve going forward. Lando Norris is 13th, with Giovinazzi lining up alongside. The Brit in 14th place. Nico Hülkenberg had a 5-place penalty. He starts down in 15th. Kevin Magnussen is alongside the first of the Jaguar cars and back markers. It's 2 Aston Martin Brabhams on row 9, with Van Dorn once again ahead of his less experienced teammate Giotto. On the back row, it's Farouk and Vries for today's Hungarian Grand Prix. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy F1 2020 edition, the final series, of course, episode number 9 for the Hungarian Grand Prix, a track that I've done well on in the past. I got my first win on this track all the way back in 1986 on this channel. It wasn't that long ago. It was a 86 mod. That feels like a lifetime ago now. More recently, though, we have done well on this track. This track seems to more suit our driving style, though I haven't won in this series, I don't think, if I remember rightly. But nonetheless, we'll be looking to move forward. 7th place is a little bit down on where we want to be compared to everybody else.
The run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care.
Thank you, Jeff. Today's strategy, as ever, in Hungary is a one-stop. It has been a one-stop since the dawn of time for us. Others will probably try and do the two-stop, because it's not... The two-stop isn't that. If you got the pace, then you can make the two-stop work. I did look at pitting earlier, but I don't know. We'll see if we can extend our trip on the soft tyres. That will depend on the tyre wear and the pace. I did have a little fiddle about, though, with the two-stop, seeing we could try and do a reverse two-stop where we did pit on the stop, but you can see the projected time. It's not worth it, really. So I just went with the one stop onto soft to hards, and let's go for today's race. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, and away we go. And it's a okay start. It's a better one than Gasly on the right hand side, as we're going to go trying down the outside. The Williams of Perez is already on the move, as is the Williams of thing. I think it's almost a Williams 1-2, although I think Ricciardo has got involved. Gasly is trying to come back at us, into the second part of the corner of the second DRS straight. We make contact. The hand of frustration comes from our driver, but eventually we we shove Gasly out, and he has to settle for P7, which of course is outside the points for the Frenchman. A little bit of a lock-up for the Frenchman as well, not helping his tyre wear. Moving up now to lap 1, we're going up, trying to go at the inside of Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen, who are the next two cars. Up the grid, that's a poor start from Vettel though. He's lost 3 places on the opening lap. We watch Carlos Sainz coming through this corner, who is yet to make up some spots outside the top 10, although Giovinazzi for Alfa Romeo is going well. Moving later on lap 2 now, we are sort of in this big gaggle of cars as we retain in P6, moving lap 4. We're struggling to get past Vettel here. They do call Hungary Monaco without the barriers, as Charles Leclerc now is the main man behind us, and not Pierre Gasly. So yes, you can see there that we're coming up into the lock up from Perez to go 3 wide down into turn 1 and up into P3. Vettel follows us through as well, but he was on the outside. This could have gone badly wrong, though not so much for myself, but for Vettel. But Vettel took a wider line when he saw Perez locking up, and we move up into P3. Crucially, get ahead of Vettel as well, which will be good for the championship. You can see that Ricciardo and Verstappen have come into the pits. We are now charging away, and we lead the Hungarian Grand Prix. Although Vettel now is going to have a go with us at DRS. We are going to lock the German. You see lots of people coming in for earlier stops, definitely doing a 2-stop strategy. Our teammate though, Jeff, thinks we can do a 1-stop onto lap 9, and speaking of lap 9, here we are coming into the pits. It's a car, once again it's that rare sight of a Carlsberg BMW 1-2. We're going to let Carlos Sainz go through. He'll go through into P1 along with Nico Hülkenberg, and I think that's Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, and one of the Alfa Romeos, I think Giovinazzi, who's in 4th place. So all those guys are going to go through into the top 10. It'll be interesting to see where we come out. I think that got Ricciardo gone through, and I think there is Sebastian Vettel. Yes, it is. So Vettel has gone. We've lost time by doing the later stop, but all the people above us are most likely going to have to stop again to come out in P17 ahead of Pierre Gasly. Gasly has logged out big time. I'm not sure what happened to Gasly. We're on the back of Charles Leclerc. We've got to overtake everybody again. Or in this case, Leclerc for the first time. We're trying to hang around the outside of Leclerc, but he forces us out wide. We will have DRS, but so will Leclerc. We're all stacking out behind. I believe that is Sergio Perez, with Lewis Hamilton as well in the mix, I believe. We start from the top 10. We're going to dive it down big time along Leclerc, but Leclerc forces us to the grass and leaves us absolutely no room. We lose all the momentum through turn 1, and we have to settle back down to 17th place, and the frustration starts to show, because you can see here the Williams has got absolutely no pace. Trying to go, clearly they got high tyre wear on this car, which is causing one of the main problems for Williams. They're not really fussed about fixing it, to be honest. We do eventually make it down the inside of Leclerc into the one of the penultimate corners, and next up is indeed Lewis Hamilton on his soft tyres. We will have DRS again. This time we're behind now a couple of other cars, including the Alfa Romeo and I believe also one of the Aston Martin Brabham cars. So we're going to have a dive down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, who's going to try and force us out. We're going to try and get Fuoco, it is, in the other Alfa Romeo. Man who needs to improve. We go down the inside of the Italian and move up into P14. Next up, it looks like the helmet briefly there is Luca Giotto in the thing, and although we try and get round, he just blocks us off. It wouldn't be the first time Giotto has blocked us off this season. Remember back to Brazil episode 1 where he blocked us off and forced us to contact with Ricciardo. We're still behind the Italian on lap 13 as there's yellow flags, and Lewis Hamilton there has tried to have a go at us and he's gone down the inside and he's out the race. So Hamilton's at the race with his aggression. More on that later. We try and get Giotto. He's going very slowly through the final corner. Eventually we get past the Italian up into P13. We'll have a second right DRS, but moving to lap 15 now. We've caught up to the Jaguar of Nick de Vries, who sort of gets lost in fighting Perez and moves out of the way. And you can see there we're going to have a look around the outside of Perez. Not to be, but we need to dispatch Perez as soon as possible, especially the fact that Vettel has dispatched Perez. I'm not sure what the tyre wear with Vettel. We're going to try having around the outside. Can we make this move stick? No, we can't. And we're going to have to take a wider line. What about through the last corner? We're going to get a nice turn and we gain time, but then the Audi power kicks in. But we have DRS. We have better aero than the Williams, and we're going to dive it down the inside of the Williams. So much so also that the fuel is also playing a fit, which is, I guess Perez wasn't even in rich mix. Now meanwhile at the front, Nico Hülkenberg has got past Carlos Sainz and he's having a commanding lead at the front. So there is our teammate Carlos Sainz. Unfortunate for him that he's not leading the race, because we could do Ricciardo is the man, and we're just going to sit behind Sainz going into turn 1, and Sainz does in fact. So if you make it around the outside of Sainz and up into P6, so we're going into the last points. Our tyre wear's not actually doing that bad, and these hard tyres will comfortably go to the end of the race. See there, the Williams is already making another stop with their horrific tyre wear in this series now, and we go down the main straight and up into P5. Sainz is on fresher hards and he's going to have a look around the outside. We're going to defend the inside from the Spaniard and move back up into retain P5. So yes, Ricciardo now leads the Grand Prix with Verstappen into second. Hülkenberg is ahead of his teammate as well. So Hülkenberg going to the end of the Grand Prix. We'll have to see what Ricciardo, Verstappen and Vettel do. In actual fact, here is Ricciardo coming out of the pits and we're going back up into P3. Hülkenberg leads the Grand Prix now from Vettel. We contact with Sainz there. Hopefully doesn't cause the Spaniard too much, but and Vettel has come in and is back out behind Kimi Räikkönen as well. So that is bad news to the German. He's going to have a long way to get back in the points, and also bad news for us. Daniel Ricciardo's on the hard tyres, but unlike his usual self, he's actually making good pace on those hards. Usually what happens if Ricciardo goes on to any hard tyre, then he just falls back, but he's right on the backside. Moved to lap 27 now. He's having a look up the inside. We almost go over his nose cone and retain into P2. Catching up now to the lap car of the Jaguar, which I believe is Nick de Vries, who has an woeful race. Ricciardo is all over the back of us. This of course is allowing Sainz to do that, as de Vries almost just turns back into us. Fortunately just gets out of the way just in time. And Ricciardo once again is almost all over the back of us. He's getting very close to the back of us now. As move to Carlos Sainz's move, where has he come out there? You can see I'm defending very rigorously. Ricciardo has a look around the inside. And Carlos Sainz is out of the race. Unfortunately, he decided to go straight into Ricciardo, and he is out the race. And our understeer, you can see there's, I think that is one of the McLarens who is out with engine failure. I think it's Norris. So we're up down to P15 runners here. I'll explain a little bit more at the end why there is 15, because there was a little bit of a crash elsewhere. But moving now to Ricciardo, we've got Max Verstappen has come to join us, and has Fernando Alonso. No! We were on for P2. We were on for the lead of the World Championship, but Ricciardo has hit us off. Why? There's no way that two cars are going to fit through that corner. I was almost through the corner, Ricciardo. And that bad news. No. Ricciardo, I think, got a 5-second penalty. We'll check that at the end. But he let Fernando Alonso through into P2. So not only Ricciardo has lost us the lead of the World Championship, because we were ahead of Alonso by more than the 1 point that we needed to overturn it into our favour. But now that's not going to be, and Alonso is going to extend his lead. We're going to have to stomp home to P5. Can we get it P5? And then there is Sebastian Vettel. He's all over the back of us. We've got front wing damage as well, which is red. I mean, our tyres are fine. DRS failure, as we've got to close the door very narrowly on Vettel to keep P5. But here's what happened with the crash. That was actually earlier with Hamilton, excuse me, and this was what happened to Kimi Räikkönen and Gasly. So that's what happened to him. Räikkönen just smashed into the back of Gasly and just retired him in himself. So yes, frustrating day at the office after what it could have been. It could have been P2, which I'd have taken P2. Hulkenberg was too far up the road, but instead we've lost ground to Alonso. Verstappen finishing out first, thanks to Ricciardo getting a 5-second penalty, which is not enough to drop in behind ourselves. Vettel finishing just 7 thousandths behind us. Perez as well, no points for him. Giovinazzi did well for 8. Bottas once in the top 10 as well, along with Van Dorn. Good result for them. Leclerc, Magnussen, Giotto, Ocon and Vries, the other finishers, with Norris, Sainz, Hamilton, Gasly and Räikkönen running and not finishing the race today. 5 non-DNFs. Again, I do mod the damage on this game, which is why there are so many high retirements. I'm going to mod it even more for the F1E mod, so that's a little spoiler to come. And in terms of the Drivers' Championship, Alonso extends his lead to 5 points. Not the end of the world, but we'll see. We'll have to, but we need to get our mojo back in the next race, which is in Italy, I think. No, not Italy. Yes, Italy, I think. Vettel drops back as well to 5th, and the only other mover is Hulkenberg up to 5th place in the top 10. In terms of the constructors, Williams actually lose that bit of their lead because BMW, of course, Hulkenberg won the race, so it's pretty much a 2-horse race now between them and Williams at the moment. BMW and Williams Red Bull and Williams for the constructors. Ferrari are in 3rd, with ourselves and Renault playing the chasing match. Our old team H&M are remaining 6th with no change elsewhere. So that's going to be it for today's video of Final Fantasy F1. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, channel if new, see more episodes of Final Fantasy. I mean, Ricciardo did get his revenge, because technically speaking, although I don't think it was my fault, we did take it. It was his. We did sort of kind of take him out in Brazil, although thanks to Luca Giotto forcing us off the grass there. So I think we're ourselves and Ricciardo will be even going forwards. But I'm going to leave that there. If you enjoyed, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new to see more weekly Formula 1 video. Episode 10 is half edited already, so that should be coming soon, as along with the Aston Martin Racing Point F1 2020 mod livery. So stay tuned for that. Turn on notifications to see that as well. But I'm glad more. Ever so slightly too much, so I'm going to leave it there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care and goodbye.